Hey guys, Sometimes Crazy here, back with another YouTube video. And so as some of you know, my main hobby outside of Cronker is VHS. And you can imagine my surprise, just getting right into this, when I was walking down the road with my sister, just on a walk the other day, and I found this. Now for those of you who don't know what this is actually part of a VHS tape. This is the actual tape from inside of the, VHS. It's extremely muddy, it's extremely dirty. But I wonder if I'll be able to make this play again. Now, obviously for this I'm going to be using a donor VCR, so one that I don't mind if it gets trashed, and a donor tape, one that I don't really care much about. So I just looked at one YouTube video essentially on how to splice VHS tapes. And I've done spool swaps and stuff before, so getting this open probably won't be much of a problem. So I now have this all unscrewed. Those observant of you will notice that this is a movie called Scent of a Woman, and I started with a movie called Frances. Unfortunately, Frances had a strange screw in it, like sort of a bespoke one that I assume they can only use at the factory that it was made in. So I had to go for a different tape. But this should all still work fine anyway. A tape's a tape. So I've got all the screws unscrewed, which means I can just take the front off like this, the front assembly. And now I'm left with these internals here. So an important thing to remember that I learned is that the top part has the data on it and the bottom of the tape has no data on it whatsoever. So when we have this horrific tape here, this top part that's been all destroyed is useless and could fuck up the thing. So I'm going to actually trim this down. I'm going to peel it off to a point where I think that it's good. The top part is good, and I'm gonna trim that off. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to work on removing this assembly and see what I can do with it. This is the first half of the tape here, because it's coming off to the right on the top. So I'm actually going to have to cut that down quite a lot to be able to fit it on there. Or I could just cut this part here and have it at the front. That's probably going to work a lot better. So what I've done here is put a screwdriver in here which emulates which kind of emulates it being in a VCR, and it unlocks this mechanism, so I can fast forwards it a bit, if you know what I mean. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to wash it off a bit. So what I'm now going to do is turn this upside down, making sure that everything doesn't fall out like that. Let's just get that hooked back on. Don't worry, we're not going to be using this bit of tape. Well, I mean, we are, but that's sort of like a runoff, so it should be fine. But past that we're not. And I'm going to take this Stanley knife or craft knife or however they're called, and I'm just going to cut as straight as I can along here. So let's just separate that. There we go. That's a very nice cut. And now we have two separate pieces. Now this piece of tape we don't need that anymore. Now we are left with this here, very nice straight cut, and this here with not as nice of a straight cut. So we're going to have to take this Stanley knife and cut this nice and straight, just so that it's all going to work properly. Cool. Okay, so let's cut a little bit off at the end. So now we have two reels, right? Now, according to what I watched on YouTube, so I'm putting a lot of faith in a YouTube channel here, I should just be able to tape these pieces together. So this next part is that I'm going to have to take the bottom of these, so the part that has no data on it, and I'm going to get some tape. Now you see this tape is very, very big, so I'm going to get just a tiny bit of tape, and actually I'm going to kind of use it the wrong way. So I have a nice little piece of tape, and I'm going to go underneath this and put the first piece on here. And then I'm going to have to get this completely in line as much as possible. And there we go, now that should work. And so there we have it. It was rather arduous, but I got this all put back in place. There's no plastic part on the top of this, which I hope isn't going to be an issue. So I'm back. I actually had this tape working, kind of, but it was really cutting in and out, and that could very, very, very likely probably just be the fact that it's been outside probably for days, and it's probably just really, really degraded. However, what I thought it might be was actually its housing. This was the the bit that span at the back. I don't really know how to explain it for people who don't know. It was this piece, right? It was this piece. So this is it from the back. You can see how clean this is, which is the replacement I've got for it. Then just how dirty this is, and how dirty, like, this is one of the pieces that makes up this flat part here, how dirty that is. And also, they should have a bit of plastic like this in the front, a nice clear bit of plastic, but that was broken off. The reason this is so smashed up is that I really had to work to free this. And I've actually got a system set up at the moment. You're going to be able to see it. It hooks up over there. Just so you know, the side that's actually going, this side behind here has no data on it. That's why it's fine to, that's where you tape it and stuff, and that's why it's fine to put it up there. So what I'm doing is I'm hooking that up and over, and I'm going to be bringing it back down here. And the reason I'm doing that is that you can see all these twists and turns in it as I go down. Now these twists and turns, like, obviously they fuck it up when I'm spooling it onto here, which, by the way, it's been like 20 minutes of spooling. Because they'll just twist up, and so by doing this, it sort of eliminates that and sort of pulls these all out. And as you can see, I've actually only got down there, up there, and then that to do. So I'll be back when I finish that. So what I'm actually doing now is I've got the first donor tape, this Francis one, the one that had that weird bespoke screw. But what I'm actually doing now is I'm going to get the 4 screws I took out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to put these screws back in this, and then I'm going to fast forwards it so that the free spool that's left is actually this spool here. So I did realise that when I took the top off of this to make this easier to access, I made this like not be able to go back on, essentially. I want that to stay on, so what I'm going to have to do is fast forward this tape, break it open, probably saw it open or something, cut off the part again, and I'm going to be working with this, but obviously it's going to be stuck on the top. So I just sawed this half part off here. As you can see, this is open now, and this is what I'm talking about, how this part here, this clear part, is attached. Now you might say that's quite yellow compared to this, which is what I was going to use, but just because it's only yellowed over age, it's not different in any other way, not like the dirt that was in the other one. Okay, so now I've got them both attached like this. I'm gonna have to put them in here. So I've got them quite far apart with this because it doesn't just like go along the, it doesn't just go along the top. It has to hook around these little like rollers on each side to get them to line up properly. So yeah, I would show you how to do that, but I've not got any free hands. I need both my hands to do this, so I'll show you what it's like afterwards. So now, as you can see, I've got this back together, but it's actually not rewound yet. Like if I put this front part, just lay it on there, you'll be able to tell that it's not rewound. So I'm going to have to rewind this, and I can't rewind it too far because inside this part is the sellotaped bit, and I'm probably only going to be able to play this once before it all breaks. But I'll be recording it, capturing it, and then I'll react to it, I guess. But yeah, let's just hope that this works. So this is my family. They saw me do all of the fixing up of the VHS tape throughout like the whole course of yesterday, essentially, and they were all dead curious to see what was on it, as was I. So I've already seen what was on this tape, and I was quite shocked when I saw it because where I found that tape, I'd found a box for a VHS tape. Really boring, looked like an old stand-up gig or something like that. I was really hoping it wasn't that and kind of thinking it was going to be, but then to my surprise, it wasn't that. It was something completely different. So I'm going to play it for them, and you're going to see it on screen now. They're going to shrink to the bottom corner, and then afterwards we'll see if they can guess what it was. So without further ado.
Okay.
What?
I know what it is.
How do you know?
So for those of you who didn't get it, the movie that was being played there was the movie Predator. So my camera actually ran out of battery before anyone could guess, but my dad got it right and my sister got it right. My mum thought that it was the Blair Witch Project, which is understandable because they had the same sort of like degenerative effects on the like tape that they're using to make it look like it's been lost for a while. So you know, it's pretty understandable. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching me fix this. It was a super enjoyable experience, and one that I'm probably not going to be able to do again, not for a long time. I mean, because what's the likelihood of me just finding a broken VHS tape and managing to be able to fix it and play enough of it for it to be recognisable? Also, for those of you who like VHS, because I will be posting this on the VHS subreddit, and want to see the full recording, there's probably about 20 minutes worth of tape. However, as you saw from my my efforts to fix it, they weren't exactly very substantial. So I actually only played the middle 10 minutes and recorded that. So if you go to the description below, there'll either be like a Dropbox or an unlisted video link, which will take you to the full video of what I captured. Bearing in mind, it's about 3 minutes either side of darkness with maybe a couple of like bits coming in and out. So from what I've gathered, you know, I got the most amount off of this tape I could, and there might be a little bit more available on here because this is the end of the movie. You know, like they might be able to get the credits and stuff like that, but from what I could tell, this is the most part I could get. And I mean, it's a pretty iconic part as well when the Predator takes his mask off and screeches. But you know, anyway, yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. So I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye.